Today we're going to talk about how to install the Simplisafe video doorbell. We're going to talk about the physical installation. Now the Simplisafe video doorbell is just like all the other video doorbells on the market, albeit it does not have the same features that Ring and Nest do. It's still a good video doorbell, and it also integrates with your Simplisafe alarm system. So the first thing we're going to have to do to get the install started is find the doorbell. And that's going to be really easy because it's going to be right outside your door, right next to your door. So what we're going to do is see those two screws there. We're going to unscrew those two screws and we're going to pop the doorbell off. Now sometimes it's been on there for a long time and it's kind of painted on there and you just have to use a little bit of force to pop it off, but you should be able to pop it off no problem. Now behind the doorbell you see two wires connected to two screws. You're going to disconnect these two wires from this plastic piece and toss the plastic piece in a drawer in case you ever need to install it again later if you're moving or anything like that. Remember, there is electricity flowing through these wires, so don't touch them together and just try not to touch them. It's not a lot of electricity, but it is there. So then you're going to want to put the mount to the doorbell right there next to your door, and you're going to want to make sure it's straight, and you're going to want to screw it in all the way. If you don't, after the installation, the doorbell can be really, really loose, so you want to make sure that's tight on the door there, on the side of the door. And then see these two little screws, you're going to want to loosen each one of these two little screws, not all the way, you don't want to pull them all the way out. You just want to loosen them enough where you can fit something behind them, because that's exactly what we're going to do with those two wires. We're going to put one wire on one side and one wire on the other side, and you're going to fit it right underneath that plate there. There's a little metal plate under the screw, and you're going to want to fit the wire from the doorbell underneath that, and you're going to want to do one wire on one side and one wire on the other side, and you're going to screw those back in to where it's tight and snug and they've got a good connection. And once you get that connection going, you're just going to kind of push the wires back up in that little hole there, just like this. You should have plenty of room. Doorbell wires aren't that thick, so you should be able to just push them back in there. Just make sure that they're not touching each other, that the exposed metal part of the wire isn't touching the other exposed metal part of the wire. And then you're going to want to take the device, and it kind of pops up and on the mount, so you're going to want to put it almost on the mount, but just a little bit up, and snap it down, and you'll know it snapped down when it snaps in place. Now Simplisafe comes with this little security screw. This makes sure that no one can just pop your doorbell off and run off with it. It goes in the bottom there, in that little hole that you see there. So you're going to want to take the screwdriver that came with Simplisafe, this little black unassuming thing right here, and you're going to want to screw that security screw into that hole. And you're going to want to keep a hold of this screwdriver because you may need it in the future if you want to remove your doorbell if you're moving or replacing it with another device. Then we're going to want to go through all the steps on the app. I could make a video about the app alone. Just getting signed in can be a hassle. But once you get signed in and you're able to add a camera and you go to doorbell camera, just follow the prompts on the screen. It'll ask you for your Wi-Fi name and password. And then it's going to give you a QR code to scan. You're going to hold it just about this far away from the doorbell so it can scan the QR code. You're going to hear a ding when it starts scanning the QR code. And once that ding happens, and it's pretty much going to connect to your wireless network and be online. Now it's important to let it sit for about 5 minutes after you pop the device on, because it doesn't power up right away. It takes just a few minutes to power up, so don't get discouraged if it doesn't come right on. Just kind of give it a few minutes, and then once you scan the QR code, your video doorbell is up and running. Now, I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll make some future videos about this topic, about other video doorbells, but thank you for watching.